So Philadelphia, let's hear it for your Phillies. Made it to the playoffs. Let me hear you real loud. Go Phillies. Go Phillies. Go Phillies.
Welcome to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast. From three guys who talk sports together over lunch for over 10 years. Probably eating a Fudgy the Whale.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
Welcome everybody to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast. I'm Bryan Galloway here with from Parts Unknown, Michael Pippersick. How are you, Mike?
Doing great. Missed you guys. Looking forward to getting caught up on some things in the world of sports.
Okay, and from Rumson, New Jersey, we have Alex Shanley. How are you, Alex?
I'm good. Football's back, so, you know.
Canadian Football League, yeah, it's
Canadian
pretty,
Football
they're
League,
pretty
yeah.
rough right now.
We're going to the Grey Cup this year.
No. It's really good this year. They're hot, man. The Stampeders are on fire.
Clearly,
Okay.
Brian's a Jet fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. It's hard to even get used to, like, get pumped up for the NFL anymore.
Oh, no.
Aaron Glenn. You got to root for Aaron Glenn.
I love Aaron Glenn. I loved him as a player.
Yeah.
I loved the guy, except for the fact that he was the guy who got tricked by Dan Marino in that
Yeah.
famous game, which I was at, and I almost had that ride home was probably one of the worst rides ever from the stadium there.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple things happened in sports I really want to go into first. First is Kawhi Leonard. I am actually tell you, I'm not shocked. I don't know if for him being shocked for the issue that happened, I am not shocked because I always wonder why they never did. And I guarantee there's other people that are doing it. They just didn't get caught.
I agree.
But,
totally.
So who wants to talk about this? Mike, you want to start with this about, do you know enough?
Yeah, I would love to talk about this one because the great part now I agree. Who wouldn't have done this kind of thing in the past, right? It's you got.
I guarantee they did.
Yeah,
but they just don't get caught.
Didn't they do it? Didn't the Lakers do it with Magic Johnson in like movie theaters or something?
He bought movie theaters. I thought that was after he retired, though.
Oh, I'll look it up while you give the background, Mike.
But the whole the crazy thing, yeah. So he got like a no-show endorsement deal with some company that ended up going out of business. Kawhi Leonard did.
Aspire, yeah.
Yeah, and to the tune of, what was it, $24 million or something like that. And, of course, Steve Ballmer's like, well, all we did is, we were talking to these guys about potentially putting their name on the arena. And we went with, Intuit, I believe, is who they went to instead. And so, yeah, sometimes we introduce our players to some of our sponsors, and then that's it. All we do is we provide the introduction, and then whatever happens, happens. So that's a nice way for Steve Ballmer to say, I didn't do anything, and try to wash his hands of this whole matter. The most intriguing part of this story is that Gilbert Arenas, apparently on a podcast a while ago, predicted that something like this could happen. And he mentioned specifically, I don't know why Steve Ballmer and the Clippers aren't doing this with Kawhi Leonard. So that intrigues me because I don't know that I would call Gilbert Arenas Nostradamus.
Agent Zero. Come on, Agent Zero.
I have a feeling that he must have known something and heard something.
Well, they do.
That it's Kawhi Leonard. Of all it, there's no way that Gilbert Arenas could have predicted, Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard are going to make this behind the scenes deal to get him some more money to circumvent the salary cap. So I'm with you, Brian. These guys know that stuff is going on, and somehow it's always been kept under wraps, and now it's been exposed. I think it was Pablo Torre, who used to be on ESPN, now has a podcast. He broke this story, and now there's this big investigation. So I definitely think that there's something amiss here, and there's definitely, where there's smoke, there's fire for sure here. I am very curious on what the NBA is going to do, because if they punish Steve Ballmer, we all know that this is going on in other places. So how big do you make this? Like how much does Adam Silver how much does Adam Silver deal with this? I think he's got a big
It's the
problem.
Pandora's box, and
Yes,
so
exactly. So
like every time that you go back and look over the last couple of years where there was a person that signed for a contract a little bit less than we would have expected it to be, and they were happy, or in a situation where a person that they wanted to get another player to come
mhm.
along, so they tried to like, oh, so and so made an agreement, and and this third person is now joining the team, and they mysteriously have enough money in the cap now to handle it.
Yeah,
I have a feeling a lot of these things are going on. It's just a matter of who's smart and who's not smart when they do it. Um, in this case here, Aspire went out of business, and
yeah.
during their bankruptcy proceedings, they came up and they were like, "Hey, what's this thing here to Kawhi Leonard?
He didn't
And
do anything with you guys.
yeah, and so it's just pretty crazy. And then they found out that he never did anything for them, never even he did a drop of work for them. Um,
This is Brian, like when the college players used to get the college players before the NIL deals used to get those no show jobs in the summertime to oh, why did this great athlete go to this awful football school or something, and then you find out, oh, he got a job at a used car dealer washing cars, but he never showed up, but he made $10,000 a month for washing cars or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly,
But
exactly.
now, as Alex was mentioning the Magic Johnson thing, and I was thinking, like, did Magic Johnson get any sort of an ownership stake in the Lakers? Because I feel like that's a way for teams to lure players to them and kind of sign these long term deals that maybe is not as much money as they would have gotten. They say, look, we'll take care. Like I could see a Mark Cuban doing something like that with a Dirk Nowitzki. Like, hey, Dirk, just stay here. We'll pay you what we pay you, and then afterwards we'll take care of you. And
But
and so
afterwards is a different story because I think actually the Warriors have something with Steph on that. Afterwards is not as is fine. I think it's it's what to circumvent what you're doing. In other words, so like let's say he won, I don't know what his salary was. Let's say he wanted $32 million, but they couldn't afford to do him right now because it's cap. They can give him 28. I think it was 7 million that this. So let's say so they could give him 28, 20, 27 million. They said we can give you 27, and then we'll get you the other seven something someplace else. And then he's like he doesn't care. He goes I don't care where I get it from as long as I get it. Okay, guess what? We're hooking you up with this company. You don't have to do anything. We'll put in the contract that you don't have to do anything to get it, and here you go, you get your other 7 million. And that's kind of what I think was happening. But of course, they defaulted on it. So he that's another thing too is he
that's
didn't
the
get paid.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get paid. So now he's probably pissed off too. So I wonder if he's gonna get pissed off and then start exposing it.
Yeah, that's where it went sideways. This company going bankrupt is where it went sideways because he's not getting his money, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, we had a deal. So yeah, to your point, Brian, Kawhi Leonard could blow this whole thing up too. But I'm sure there have been some calls with Steve Ballmer where he says, "Listen,
Yeah, but
I'll
but
blow
you
that."
know Kawhi's I've heard a lot of things about him. He's not the easiest dude to get along with. I
He's,
can imagine him getting pissed off and saying things, but maybe we'll see. I don't
he's
know.
not going to have that robot laugh about this whole
No,
thing.
no, no.
Well,
So
let me give you the Magic
go ahead.
Johnson story, right?
Go ahead.
So, in 1994, Magic Johnson bought a 4.5% stake in the Lakers for $10 million.
What was
He
that
was still
worth?
playing.
Yeah, what was that worth at the time?
Exactly.
There was
And then
no way.
he sold it in 2010. I
For
can't find the price.
oh, Alex, I thought you were teasing us, teasing us
Sorry.
out.
He sold it for an estimated 27 million. So he almost tripled his money.
Yeah,
Um,
4.5% stake for
and
10
then he
million.
then he bought stake in the Dodgers, right?
yeah. And other the Sparks and all that.
That
So
sounds like a good deal, though. Like, I would buy that stake for 20. Can we get in on this?
yeah,
$27 million for 4.5%. Like, that sounds like a great deal, even so, right? That sounds
yeah.
like a great deal. Gosh.
And it appears that the movie theaters had nothing to do with it, that he started
Okay.
purchasing those after.
With that money.
Um, yeah. But he was an owner while he played for them, and he was able to buy that for 10 million and basically
Hmm.
triple it in 16 years.
I wonder what the
Um,
value was. Like,
No,
they
believe it or not, Magic's been a pretty good businessman.
yeah.
He's done the right thing and made a lot of good investments. Where a lot of his peers did not.
He's worth
And
billions, they say.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
he's a
smart. He
smart dude.
doesn't spend all his money on cars and live
And
animals or
chains. Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, live animals like Mike Tyson did, right? The Bengal tigers and things like that.
So why is Mark Cuban defending Steve Ballmer?
Because he's probably done it.
I
Yeah.
think he had to, right? Come on, come on. I like Mark
Yeah.
Cuban, but come on.
And
Come on, you
they're
got
saying
invested.
Brunson's next.
Who?
Brunson.
Brunson, huh?
Yeah, that's what Pablo Torres said. He said, "Well, I'm going to investigate Brunson now because he signed for less than."
Oh, for the Knicks,
Yeah.
I think part of that though was his dad over with the Knicks and
And
Leon
Tibbs.
Rose.
And Tibbs. He loved
And,
Tibbs
and,
too.
and Leon
Yeah.
Rose, the GM of the Knicks, he's known Brunson since he was a kid and family friend, and yeah, I think sometimes Brunson's getting his money like on the
And that's another thing, guys. There's a certain point. Again, I don't know this experience, but when you have 35 million, and then and the difference between 35 million and 38 million is only $3 million. And when you get to that much money, does it really matter? Like, is it going to make you that much better to have $3 more million? I don't know. But again, I don't. I'm not in that tax bracket, so I have no idea. I can't comprehend that. But to me, at a certain point, I mean, you have millions of dollars. Will more millions help you? I don't know.
Hey, Brunson got a good deal from our friends at AT&T. He was in a bunch of those commercials. So I don't know if Leon Rose said, "Hey, look, you come to New York. I've known you, Jalen, since you're a kid. Your dad's going to be coaching here. We'll get you some players, and I can introduce you to a ton of sponsors based that you're playing in New York and so forth." I don't
Yeah,
know.
but that's interesting, Mike, because all the coaches got whacked when they got rid of Tibbs, except for Brunson.
Yeah, that's a Leon Rose thing. Totally
Yeah.
Leon Rose thing,
Yeah.
right? Because if Leon Rose fires Rick Brunson, and I think Leon Rose was Rick's agent when Rick played, then you alienate your star player, right? Is Jalen going to start bad mouthing the team and so on, and not want to sign his next contract and potentially fracture that team's future? Possibly. So yeah, I think now Leon Rose has made a bit of a deal with the devil, because now it's like, what if and some players maybe are not fans of Rick Brunson, but you kind of hitched your wagon to Jalen, and Rick comes with Jalen. So yeah, that's another interesting one to just keep an eye on in the future with the Knicks, because what if Rick Brunson does start alienating the new coaching staff, other players, and so forth? Does that start creating a rift in the locker room? Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
So,
And he was
so
demoted too.
Yeah.
what do you think the penalty is going to be, though?
Well, let me give you Mark Cuban's perspective, right? He's saying he, as much as he wishes that Steve Ballmer circumvented the salary cap, he said he's not that dumb. Steve's not that dumb. This is his tweet. If he tried to feed Kawhi money, knowing what was at stake for him personally and his team, do you think he would let the company go bankrupt? Knowing all the creditors basically would come after him.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Interesting.
like,
It's an
that's
interesting
Mark
point of
Cuban's
view.
take.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
He's saying they all got scammed by aspiration, along with many others, crime for which they pleaded guilty last week. Scammers do scammy things. They did a $300 million sponsorship deal with the Clippers. That's a huge deal. The better the team does, the more value the sponsorship has. It actually makes perfect sense that if they stole the money from investors and wanted the Clippers to succeed, why not give stolen money to help keep their best player? It's sad that Pablo Torre didn't take the time to find out how these scammers pulled off their scam. The idea that the fault is Ballmer as the bad guy is going to backfire on him. So we'll see.
It's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, he's probably more in the know than Pablo Torres, but
But so how about again? So the fact that they did this, though, is Kawhi Leonard going to be suspended?
For what would he be suspended if he just made a deal? I guess the only way he gets suspended is if someone identifies that Ballmer was involved and used it intentionally as a way to circumvent the salary cap, which I don't think you necessarily can prove. I think they're just going to, end up sweeping this under the rug.
I think he needs to be suspended for like 3 years, but it's
Kawhi?
yeah. Just get him out. Get him out of the
I mean,
sport.
he's pretty spent anyway, right?
He gets hurt all the
34.
time, but no, it's he's one of those guys who when his career is over, we're going to say I could imagine what would happen if he actually was healthy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like the talent's there, skills there. But he just couldn't stay healthy, and also he had the whole situation with Tibbs, which I'm not no Tibbs with
Oh,
Pop, that is he took away a good year of his career there, and it's like stuff like that. Where would his stats have been if he actually played?
yeah.
Um,
He
but
was
yeah,
really good at the playoffs this past season. Like you
he
forgot
always
how
has
good
been
he
good in the playoffs.
was.
He's always been great in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
you forgot how good he was, and you saw him in the playoffs, and I'm watching him thinking, wow. To like what you were saying, Brian, I was watching him thinking, wow, if this guy was healthy all this time, because he's just healthy now again, he looks really good. The game looks so easy to him on both ends of the floor.
And then he's in this controversy. It's going to be very interesting. And again, I wonder if other players are going to be pissed off that saying like, "Listen, dude, now guess what? My deal is going to get exposed, and I'm going to get in trouble now too." So
But
we'll
I,
see.
but the Mark Cuban thing is really interesting. So it makes me wonder. It does make sense what Mark Cuban is saying. If you were involved in this directly, you wouldn't want that company to go bankrupt because of the potential for what it would mean to your tenure as ownership, to the player impacted as well. But I also think that these kind of things are happening around the league. They have to be, right.
Oh
They
yeah,
just
they are. They're smart businessmen or shady businessmen. We don't know, but they're trying to figure out. You have a cap, so you want to play it with. They all know, just like with taxes and all things like that. These smart businessmen, they always find ways to get around things, and they hire all these people to find the loopholes.
and
So
they
they thought
want
they
to
found a
win so
loophole,
badly. Yeah,
and guess what? They got snagged. And
yeah, but they want to win so badly that, oh, what would when Mark Cuban says, oh, would he do this? Yeah, I think a lot of owners would do this because they're so hungry to win that they'll do whatever it takes to win. They'll take these risks that on the surface sound ridiculous that you'd even consider them. I'm sure owners like Jerry Jones would do anything to win a Super Bowl, and whatever that means, to circumventing salary caps and so on. So I don't
and the
question Steve
Clippers have
Ballmer's
never won
intelligence.
anything, right? So
Not a thing, and it's so hard
they've
to
never
win
even
the
made a
West.
finals. I don't think. I don't think they ever made a
No,
finals.
no. I mean,
Uh,
it's so hard to win, and the West gets better and better, and it's a very small window right now for the Clippers based on the players that they have. So, does Steve Ballmer want to push all his chips into the table? I think so. He's used to winning, right?
yeah,
So,
I thought Jerry Jones did everything not to go to the Super Bowl.
yeah.
He's been
I
successful at that.
I want.
He's yeah. I have a feeling sometimes that he's going a little senile, but that's how we can improve that. But it's just that the
Th-
decisions he makes and the things he says. Obviously, they're not under advisement.
There was an interview on a podcast, and I don't know who was being interviewed, but they were interviewing someone who did an interview with Jerry Jones. I think he was like a Dallas reporter or Dallas radio show host. And Jerry Jones, he tells the story. Jerry Jones is sitting in front of him, and he asked Jerry Jones, out of all the major sports teams, any sport, who would hire you as a GM today?
Yeah, he's right.
Jerry Jones is like flabbergasted. He's like, Jerry, nobody would hire you as a GM. Why are you the GM of the Cowboys? It was so bad. It was so
Yeah,
bad.
because his ego. It's his
Yeah,
biggest
I
ego.
know.
He's got the biggest ego in the world.
Well, do you
So
blame him? He's like, hey, I bought the team. I can do whatever I want.
There,
And he's not
there's
wrong.
there's a really great Netflix documentary on Jerry Jones and the Cowboys that I just finished watching. It's 8 episodes. You guys should watch it. We should spend a podcast talking about it. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Like he's done a great job in terms of building the brand of the Cowboys
Sure.
and moving the NFL forward. But the general management portion of it and selecting coaches and so forth, a disaster.
Yeah.
And the family is all running it. And look, I admire him for saying, I want my family involved. That's kind of cool. But man, to be the GM it's such a hard job as it is.
Yeah.
But if you guys haven't seen it, and you should check it out, because Brian, you would like it because there's so much Michael Irvin in it, who I think
Oh, I love Michael Irvin.
you love him. I love that guy too. And man, it's fascinating. And Alex, you know those teams from your
And I do not
lifelong
like
love of the
Michael Irvin at
Giants.
all.
No, we like him because from Miami, not
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
Cowboys. Like
Yeah.
when he
yeah.
was on Miami, he's a different guy than he is.
A
Yeah,
playmaker.
it's
Well,
his
after this
personality
weekend, you'd
changed.
think he was back on Miami. Did you see him running around the
Yeah,
sidelines?
yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
He's
look
so
at them.
passionate for that program.
oh
Yeah, two
my,
and zero, man, 2-0.
yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to the next topic, and then the next is a combination topic, and it's two things that kind of infuriate me. And when I heard that these things were going on, and then you see what happens in the world we live in today with social media, how they can actually like find anybody. But let's start off. So there was a tennis at the U.S. Open. There was a tennis player, and again, I don't know any of these tennis players. So Mike, you probably know, you guys, or you Alex know better than I do. But there was a tennis player who was giving autographs to people, and took an autograph hat, and he was going to give it to a kid, but he was actually distracted. So he handed the hat to the kid. The kid didn't take it right away, and some older guy grabbed it from the kid, quickly shoved it in his wife's pocketbook to try to hide it, and then the kid got very upset. Turns out to be, obviously this man was a I don't know, a big time executive, and social media found him right away and ridiculed him, and he clapped back with a bunch of things, threatening people and vice versa.
He's a
But
CEO.
yeah, yeah, CEO.
Yeah.
So who is this tennis player? Is he a good tennis player?
He's an okay tennis player. Karen, of all things, is his first name. Karen Kachanov, a Russian tennis player. He's a pretty good player. If you were going to steal a hat from a tennis player, Brian, or take a hat from a tennis player and steal it from a kid, it wouldn't be this guy's hat.
Yeah.
It, it would be Carlos Alcaraz's hat if he wore hats, maybe Yannick Sinner's hat. There's a few guys, but the guy who stole it, which when I saw the names of the guy who stole it, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, is it like a countryman's hat? No, I mean, this guy that stole the hat is a Polish guy, I think, based
Yeah.
on his name, and the player's Russian. I think the player ended up meeting with the kid afterwards and gave him like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah. No, the
which,
player did
which
above and beyond. It was such a wonderful thing that he did. He
yeah,
went to the kid and gave him stuff and made. He fixed the whole thing. But it's amazing that this adult would do something like that. And in the world we live in, first of all, and like now you're saying, now it's even because I thought the guy was a good player, so he wasn't even a high level player.
he's
So what
pretty
that
good.
what's the value of that? What's the value of that autograph though?
He's a top 30, 50 player. Good player, not a great player. But, the guy who stole a hat, he ended up ultimately apologizing. He said that he thought that Karen Kachanov handed the cap to him, saying that, like, well, my sons had earlier asked for autographs. And so I
He was lying.
apologize.
He's lying too.
I think he's lying too.
If you watch the pic, if you watch the video, the guy, he was
Because
sneaky.
yeah, because as soon as something like that happens and others see that, I'm sure there was a big ruckus and people are saying, "Hey, you stole that hat from that kid or something." You say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me give that. I thought it was for me. Thought it was here you go, kid." And then if the player saw that, he may have said, "Hey, look, I'll give you autographs for your kids and so on. Give me a minute or something like that."
But
But
the first thing he said was, "Hey, in the world we live in today, you got to act fast. If you don't act fast, you fail in life, right?" Like his first quote was not that. It was a very, very unique quote to pointing out what type of personality this guy has.
it's a
The
very
second,
unique
the
quote
second
for a
quote
hat.
was after he talked to his lawyers. Yeah,
Yeah. But that's a funny quote. Well, you got to act fast in this life. We're talking about a hat from a tennis player at the U.S. Open, not putting
in
food
front
on
of a
the
little
their
kid.
family.
And
Yeah,
And he didn't come out with the apology till the video and everything was out there,
of
where
course,
he
of
could
course.
watch himself.
because then
And
he threatened people too. He said, "Listen, if you make disparaging remarks to me, I could, I'll have legal implications, or I'll go after you." He made all those
well,
kind of comments first too.
he is the CEO of a paving firm.
Yeah,
A paving firm
Yes.
it's
in
Russian
So
America,
mafia, Russian
or
mafia,
Polish.
or Polish mafia. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a creep. I'm sorry, I will say it right now on the podcast. He's a creep. I don't care about his apology. I know it's fake. What he did is just despicable. It's just what's bad about sports right now, and memorabilia stuff, and all this craziness. So,
Oh, you
Yeah,
know what? I got it. I got it wrong. The tennis player who handed the hat over was actually a Polish tennis player who had beaten Karen Kachanov. So this guy that the hat was being handed by, that guy was a lesser player
oh,
than the player that I was telling you. He just happened to be a Polish player. So this guy's like, "Oh, I'm a Polish guy, and I want to get this Polish player's hat." So, oh, it's okay. He should have taken the hat from this kid. It's a Polish guy. Go overall.
There's a Polish joke in here somewhere. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
got to be a few. Kamo Machrak.
Well, that's the funny thing about this was, so this guy's getting ridiculed. There's memes all over the place. He's getting destroyed on all means of social media, from TikTok to Instagram, Facebook. This guy's getting slaughtered, right? Slaughtered. And then he's so happy because there was another event that happened in a Phillies Marlins game that just took over, and it just went to another level. There was a home run hit by, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Hadley, right?
Or no, hey, no, Bader.
Bader,
Bader,
that's it.
yeah,
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 Yes.
right,
Harrison
okay.
Harrison Bader.
Harrison Bader hit a home
Harrison
run,
Bader.
right? Hit a home run. He was a Yankee and a Met over the last couple of years. Now he's a Philly. He's having a great year. So he hit a home run. He hit a shot out, and the ball hit. The ball hit, and you know as well as I do. We've been going to games. When a ball's hit in the stands, it's free for all. Whoever gets it, it's whoever. There's no right to, hey, where I sit. If a ball comes to where I sit, I get first dibs at the ball. No, it's first come first serve. You grab it, you get it. So the ball like hit the ground, hit a guy, hit the ground, and this one man picked it up. A Philly fan. He picked it up, brought it over, gave it to his son. His son's all happy, and then out of nowhere, this lady who has a strange haircut runs over, and starts yelling at this guy, saying, that's my ball," and screaming at him. And all the people around her are filming because she's acting like an idiot. Um, she has a haircut like Kate Goslin. Remember the lady who had like all the kids, and that one of the first realities, the Goslins. I don't know if you guys remember that, but anyway, so she came over, ridiculed him, and he just said, "Heck with this." He gave it back to her. Here he's like, "Here, lady, just take it and go." So then the Marlins come over and give the kid like a bag of stuff, which is so cool. They saw it on the jumbotron, and they came over and they gave the kid a bunch of stuff. And then after the game, Harrison Bader, again, he gets a lot of credit from me now from being a good guy, comes down and signs a bat for him and gives him more stuff. The Phillies did a good job too. So the baseball teams involved did a great job. They really did what they should have done. Did it the right way. So in the meantime, this lady has been ridiculed, and there's videos from all different angles now, because even during the game, she was not just bothering him, she was bothering other players. There were other people in the stands. They have pictures of her going around to other people and arguing with them. This lady was a nut. And so she's like Karen number one right now, and their memes are just, there's some great ones out there right now, and I'm laughing my behind off. But they're taking her just almost like that old cat picture, the cat with the funny face. They're taking that, they're taking her and putting her in other situations and stuff like that. She's getting destroyed right now. Destroyed. Now, the only problem is people thought they found her name and they started harassing this one lady, and it was the wrong one. So, again, the dangers of social media. But I just think this is hilarious that she would do something like that. And I'm so glad she's getting her just due.
The icing on the cake is that it was that kid's birthday.
Yes.
So I saw
Well,
I saw the video, and the dad gets there and she's leaning down to get the ball, and he gets the ball, and I agree with you, Brian. It's whoever gets it first gets it, and if you don't get it, that's where that Polish guy's quote comes in. You got to be quick in this life. The dad
That's
was
different.
quicker.
Not handing an
Exactly.
autograph.
Yes, yes. The dad was quicker. He brings it over to the kid, and you can see how happy the dad is to be able to give this kid on his birthday a home run ball. And the dad is hugging the kid when the woman taps him on the shoulder angrily, and the dad jumps back, scared, like
Yeah.
what's going on? And she's berating him in front of the kid. which is crazy. And so the dad just, take the ball, just get out of here, take the ball. I'm what the video almost looks like it's fake. And you're right, she does have Kate Gosselin's haircut. It may be her actually because the lady is older.
It looks like yeah.
What I see from the North Carolina News Post, I don't know how they have it, but she's from New Jersey.
Oh, of course she is.
And she's a school administrator.
No, that's the mistake one.
And
yeah, that's the lady. That poor lady. If you look at that lady's Facebook, it says, "I am not the Philly lady." Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's the mistake one. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, no. So here's my take on it. When I first saw it, I think the guy, he went over like 2 sections to get the ball, and I was like, well, I mean, the other people, like, they almost caught it and it dropped right down. Like, shouldn't he just be giving it to them?
No.
Why not?
So. I think baseball, everyone just goes mad.
Baseball, the ball's coming. You watch it inflate, you go after it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you sit.
But the tennis player holds the hat out and the guy grabs it.
But
what's different?
He was giving it to the kid.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
He's literally signing another ball and he's just holding it out.
He even said the player even said he was.
He was giving it.
Yeah.
So my first impression was like, well, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you running over 2 sections to get the ball? And when there's a bunch of people going after it, I mean, if there was 2 sections and there was nobody there, I get it. But to see the whole thing and her reaction to it and screaming and yelling just didn't make any sense. So I'm glad the kid got his just due for sure and got the ball. But the dad seemed a little sketchy to me too. He did. If you watch the whole video, like from the beginning, he like runs over there. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
People go crazy for baseballs. That and the T-shirt cannon. People lose their minds.
Again, T-shirts that are usually like,
they're all
Provident Bank. Yeah, like it's not even a regular shirt. It says like New York Jets Provident Bank, and the Provident Bank is larger font than the Jets. And then and then you put it on, it doesn't fit. They only have one size, and then you wash it once and it shrinks. Right? It's not. You're fighting your life for that. Yeah.
Agreed.
Brian, you would think they were shooting Bitcoin out of that thing.
Right.
The way people lose their minds. Like, I've never, you're at a game, and it could be a hockey game or whatever, and it's an okay game, and the crowd is the crowd. I never hear a crowd louder at a sporting event, a live sporting event, than when the person comes out with the T-shirt cannon.
I know.
Where they do it.
That devil comes out, that giant stupid head, and a cheerleader on skates, and they say, we've got 8 T-shirts and 15,000 people rise as one.
Yep.
Connor McDavid has scored 5 goals in this game. No cheers. But this dude.
But I think that T-shirts. Yeah, these teams have a slight. See, what happens now is the Marlins and the Phillies both got a big uptick in their fan base because they did the right thing, right?
Of course.
This lady's going to get harassed. Like, believe me, she's regretting this. I would hope what she did because she's getting destroyed. Even as bad as that one guy, that Polish, executive guy was, he was getting trashed to death. She's getting worse because there's so many different views of this going on now. So many people posted from all different angles. And now you can see so much of her, and you can even hear what she said. And it's amazing how quickly this erupts. I just can't believe that this happened. But Mike, what's funny? It reminds me of, and Alex, you might know this, maybe didn't. Mike and I went to a Sixer game, and it was a snowy, horrible day. And I remember I called up, and I called the wrong number, and I called the season ticket hotline, and I was talking to some lady, and she's like, "Well, this is not the number you normally call." I said, "Oh, well, we need some tickets, but I know it's snowing, and I don't even know, are you guys going to have the game? When do you call it?" She goes, "No, we're definitely going to have the game." I said, "Okay, well, where do I call to get tickets?" She goes, "No, listen, I'll take care of it for you. What do you need?" "I need 2 tickets." "Okay." She goes, "When you get there, here's my number, send me a text when you get there." And I'm like, okay, whatever. So Mike and I go there, and our seats were decent. They weren't bad. But when I get there, I said, okay, let me send her a text. I send her a text, and she comes over, and she's got 2 bags of crap for us, like, a Sixer hat and all stuff like that. And she goes, "Come on, guys, I'm going to take you down and get you better seats." And she took us to, like, the lounge, right?
Yes, very
Yeah,
nice.
It was the coolest thing. It was the coolest thing. And she was so cool to us. And again, no one was there that day, but she was trying to build. She was trying to get us to want to
The
be
season tickets, yeah.
Sixer season ticket holders,
Yeah.
and she was doing the right thing. And like that to me went a long way. I always felt that's the way things need to be
Yeah.
done, and I thought that was just a really cool thing. And I see that the Marlins and the Phillies both understood it was an important time to do the right thing because they're going to get good press for it. And it was just the right thing to do. And I love that they did that. I'm not telling you every team would have done that, but I love that they did that. And I think that was great. Now, now as far as the U.S. Open goes, now I know the player himself found the kid and gave him a whole bunch of stuff, right? Another hat, autographed hat, and did a bunch of stuff like that. But what did the U.S. Open do? Did they actually do anything about it? That I don't know. And that's what I'm saying
I
is
don't think so.
you
Yeah.
always have an opportunity to do the right thing at the right time. Marlins and Phillies did it. I don't know if the U.S. Open did. And
I
that
don't think they get involved in that stuff. But I will say that this woman who yelled at this guy and got the ball, she has been punished. She was given season tickets to the Marlins for next year. So
there you go.
she's being
Oh.
adequately punished.
Yeah, so I found out Brian's right. She's not from New Jersey, and the school district that was called out actually wrote something saying she's not. It's not the same
Oh,
woman. So
no.
please, 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 please stop saying it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think the lady on her, the one lady, she goes, "I wish I was as skinny as her, or as in good shape as her, but I'm definitely not." So she goes, it just cracks me up. She must have had the same haircut. But I just think it's hilarious how it erupts so quick in a matter of like what it happened the next day. Okay, the pictures are out, the videos are out. The very next day, the memes start. Then they know who the person is. They track down the person. It's
Well,
amazing.
they tracked down the wrong person. Let's
yeah.
talk about the ramifications of
Yeah, well,
that,
that whole
right?
thing, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's yeah. So fortunately, this woman's okay because you never know how people are going to react in those situations. So you get the
Yeah.
wrong person, and something could unfortunately happen. So yeah, good for the school district for stepping up as well and saying, "Hey, leave this woman alone. It's not the right person."
Yeah, but there will be people that believe it's her for the rest of time, right? Because once
there will
something's
always.
said, they believe
Always.
that. Right?
There's the lady
There she is. Yeah, she goes to the grocery store. They're like making fun of her and pointing at her.
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah,
oranges at her and stuff.
definitely change her haircut right away, immediately. Yeah. So anyway, I just think it's hilarious. It's sports today. This is something that never happened prior. I've been in situations where a ball's hit and people dive. I went to even this isn't even. I just thought about this too. One time we went to an arena football game, which was the stupidest. I can't believe I did that, but I went to an arena
I
football game.
can
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
totally.
And so the thing about that was like if a ball goes in the stands, it was free for all. You get it right. So oh yeah, 100%. So actually I have it somewhere on my shelf. So a guy kicked a field goal and he kicked it way high, and it went and we were back there. So the ball's coming, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch this. Holy crap! So it came right to me, and I reached up and I got it. And then like four guys jumped on my back, and I'm like slammed into the chair. And I'm like, oh, my side's killing me, but I kept that ball, and it was crazy. These people were nuts, and for a stupid arena football league football, which I do still have, it's just amazing, like that kind of stuff. I've caught balls at games, I've missed balls at games. I it's happens. That's the rite of passage. You got to catch it. It's all for one, all one for all. No, it's not. There's no right by you buying the ticket. It doesn't say in your ticket that, hey, guess what? If any ball comes near your seat, you get the ball. No, it isn't. You got to
Let me
catch
give you a scenario, Brian. You're sitting in the stands, line drives hit, you're talking to somebody, it hits you in the chest, right? It falls down to your feet, and somebody in the row in front of you reaches over and picks it up and claims the ball.
That's
Did
fine.
they give you the ball?
No,
I think proper etiquette should be they give Bryan the ball.
Right, because
And he can hold it, and he can hold it on his way to the hospital in the ambulance.
But you know what I mean? Like I think
that's a
we
nice
get
thing to do. But in a case where, okay,
But again, the nice thing was the guy should have given the hat to the kid, but he didn't. He snatched it and ran away.
Yeah.
He was the first one to get it.
yeah,
Right? It's like,
it's
you
just
know,
the world. I don't know. I feel I actually caught a ball on a bounce one time and gave it to a kid, and it killed me because I was like, oh crap. But I also caught a Bernie Williams playoff home run off that that ricocheted off a seat and bounced in the aisle. And I was walking with my father-in-law, and it just came right in my hands. I was like, pop. Hey, look at that. And so, you never know. The person who was sat in that seat was probably pissed that they didn't get it. It came right to me. I'm not giving that to anybody.
Not even a little kid, Brian. What if a little kid looked up at you and he's wearing?
Yeah, well, that might have been some, but
would
I
you
don't
give
know.
it up? Would you give up the ball, Brian?
Well, I was in a bad mood. It was funny because my father-in-law kept on having to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, not again. So I'd have to bring him to the bathroom, and then that's when it happened. I just, all of a sudden, I'm like, of all the times now when Bernie Williams is up, it's a playoff game. Like, oh, I really got to go. Okay, come on, I'll walk you over to the bathroom. So I go bring him over to the bathroom because he was getting old at that time, and I was like, come on, let's go. And then that's when the home run comes, and I'm like, oh, look, and like, bang, off the chair, boom, and then it hit off the wall, and then right to me. It was like nice short hop, boom. I'm like, hey, that's not bad. I'm like, okay, let's go to the bathroom. Okay, then I never complained if he wanted to go to the bathroom anymore after that.
Yeah.
But it's just that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's sports. You should. I think baseball is different. It's all for one for all. Wherever it goes, you get it. No one's complained in 100 years, and all of a sudden, in the last, this is going nuts. This lady had no idea. She probably never went to a game before. Her husband, where was her husband? What was he doing?
She was claiming that she hit the ball, hit her in the hand, right? Like,
I don't think it did.
Okay,
he looks like he came up short of her.
Yeah. I doubt she would have caught it anyway.
So really quick before we move on, I have to confirm one thing with Brian, and I'm going to ask Alex a question. So Brian, at Arena Football League games, if a ball went into the crowd, you could catch it and keep it?
You can keep it too. So every time a pass would go there, people would dive all over each other and try to catch it. Right. It was crazy. It was like a fight all over every time. All That's right. why when the ball was coming to me, I was thinking, should I catch this or not? And then, and it was coming right to me. It was like I didn't even have to move. So I'm like, okay, and I caught it, and then I crashed. All these guys jumping on me. It hurt. I'll tell you right now. That night going home, I remember I was sore because it was not a simple hit. They hit me hard.
I'm sure alcohol was involved as well.
Oh, yeah.
So now my question is to Alex. Alex, are you as surprised as I am that at an Arena Football League game, they had more than one ball?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am, right? I would expect that they'd be like, the players are just looking up at the crowd like, throw it.
Throw it back.
Yeah, we need
the ball.
No, it's very cheaply made balls. She's very cheaply made balls, too. Okay, so let's
a bum skin. They used instead of pigskin, it was a bum skin.
So as of this recording, it's the NFL season is just starting out. This is the first weekend. I mean, it's kind of too early to make previews, but what are our thoughts of our teams this year? What do you feel, Alex? You go first. What are your feelings right now? What are your aspirations for the New York Giants this year?
I mean, I'm optimistic. I think they have one of the toughest schedules, if not the toughest schedule in the NFL. So I think it's going to be, a tough year, a proving year, a year where guys get better because they're playing against better competition. So I don't think they're going to win a ton of games. I would be thrilled, I think, if they won 7 or 8 games, but coming on the heels of winning 3 games last year, that would be a significant improvement. But look, they got better. They're building it kind of, the way historically the Giants have been built on defense. They drafted Abdul Carter number 3, who was probably considered the best player in the draft, and he'll be a starter for them this year. Their front line, I think, is the best line on defense. So I think they're going to be very good defensively. They picked up some great free agents, defensive back. So I think they're going to be really good. Javon Holland, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they're going to be on defense. They're going to be really solid. The question is what's Russell Wilson going to do? Is he going to be Russell Wilson of Seattle and run around and throw the ball a lot? Or is he going to be Russell Wilson of Pittsburgh, where it's like, or Denver, where he, didn't do a whole lot. I guess he won a little bit of Pittsburgh, but they win because they're good. So I think the Giants are going to be better. I'm optimistic. Looking forward to watching football, not just kind of sitting there saying, well, we're going to lose no matter what. So, and I hope Jackson Dart doesn't play a whole lot this year. I think he should just, be the backup, and he's got a lot to learn, and just let him learn and grow and listen to games and how they're called.
He's
What's
going to
that?
play. The first time they have a problem, they're going to want him in.
I don't think so. My prediction is he doesn't play until maybe after the bye, which is pretty late for the Giants this year.
Yeah, very late.
Yeah. So that's my prediction. And I just think just because they have Jameis Winston too, like if Russell Wilson got hurt, I don't think Jackson Dart's coming into play. I think
isn't Dart
number two
right now?
He's number 2. Well, he can come in that game, but that doesn't mean the next game they're going to say, oh, well, Jackson Dart's the 2. I think he's the 2 just to get him reps and practice, right?
Okay.
He's the 2. Make sure he's getting some reps with the first team and he's getting the reps with the second team. That's my guess. And that Jameis Winston, if anything happened to Russell Wilson, he would be promoted to the starting quarterback and Jackson Dart would still be the backup. It's just a guess. It's just a hunch. But, until Daboll's seat gets so hot that we got to show that we picked the right guy and he's going to be the future. And then they put him in. But my hope is that he doesn't have to play a whole lot this year, maybe 2 or 3 games at the end of the season, because I don't think the Giants are getting close to the playoffs. So I'm optimistic. I think they had a really good draft. I think they brought in the right players in free agency. So we'll see. And I think they'll be in a lot of games. And although I thought the Cowboys were going to be worse, but they looked pretty good against the Eagles. So I thought the Giants would beat them in the second game of the year. So they start out with the Commanders, and they have the Cowboys, and then they have the Chiefs, and then they have the Chargers. I mean, it's a brutal schedule. Yeah, it's a brutal schedule for sure.
Is the offensive line supposed to be any good for the Giants?
Yeah, it'll be better. I mean, Andrew Thomas is hurt, so the question is whether he's going to play or not. Okay. And that's still up in the air. It doesn't sound like he's going to play week 1, but I think they've kind of told Andrew Thomas, look, I think Andrew Thomas has said, I'm playing when I'm ready to play, when I know I'm ready to play, which, you have to appreciate, because I think in the past it's been, he got hurt on an ankle and then the trainers are saying you're ready, and then he comes back and then he gets hurt again. So, and this has happened a couple times. So I think him saying, look, I'm going to come back when I'm ready to come back, may be the smarter thing. And if I'm not ready for week 1, I think he practiced on Wednesday and then didn't practice on Thursday. And I don't think he practiced on Friday. So, I don't know that he's going to play, but it sounds like they're truly leaving it up to him to say, look, let us know when you're ready. And, they're a different offensive line when he doesn't play. He's the best player on the Giants, I think.
Yeah. I agree. You're very true in the way you're thinking, because really and truly he should get healthy,
right,
and take his time, because you need him for the long run. Whether or not he's here the first 2 games versus where he is the rest. But here's one thing that, Alex, I really feel that Malik Neighbors makes a big difference compared to. So Russell Wilson, okay, in Pittsburgh, he didn't really have. You could say Pickens was he wasn't that good. I don't think he's that good. I'm not a big fan of Pickens. And with Denver, he didn't really have a star receiver. He's got a generational. I think Neighbors is going to be the next big star, and even though he's a Giant, he's going to be a big star. And I think that he makes every quarterback you throw out there better. So I have a feeling Wilson's going to be an uptick from where he was last year.
And they have a great group of running backs. I mean, the Giants really do.
I like Tracy. You were big on Tracy last year.
Yeah.
You were the only one who said anything. You said, "Hey, watch out! Watch for this guy Tracy."
He's great. And they picked up Cam Scadaboo, who's been a little bit injured in preseason, but he's ready to go. And they have Devin Singletary, so they have a great group of running backs too. And they have Miller, who was Turbo. They call him Turbo. He was great in the preseason, and he didn't even make the team. I think he's on the practice squad, and he was phenomenal during the preseason. I know it's only preseason, but he was like the guy that they went to because none of the starters were playing. And, when the second and third stringers were in, they were giving him the ball, they were throwing him the ball, and he was super quick. So they're really, really stacked in the running back room, which is great, good for them. And what they did was they built depth, right? So the offensive line is going to be better because they're deeper. And when one guy gets hurt, they're going to be able to replace him and actually not be like, who who are we picking up off the scrap heap to stick in this week to play? So Joe Shane did a pretty good job about, filling in some of those holes on the offensive line, not necessarily front end starters, but guys that are ready to go. They picked up this guy Bo, who's been great in the preseason. Swing tackle, can play the left or the right hand side, and so he's kind of waiting in the wings. He was pretty high draft pick, and did a great job in the preseason. And they're like, hey, this guy's legit, and he's not even starting. So they have those backups, which will help as the season goes along. So, I think the offensive line's coming together. It's the same offensive line as last year, which is always a benefit. The Giants haven't had that in a long time. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, Andrew Thomas comes back. I don't think it's going to be week 1, but maybe week 2 or 3. And they really solidify that line. And I think Russell Wilson can still move around a little bit. So that's going to help. And we'll see, but it's going to come down to the offense, because I think the defense is going to be pretty stout.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, and I'm with you, Alex, with the optimism. I'm looking at this Giants team as being built on that defense, almost like it's the 80s with Parcells when the Giants started getting good. And then the offense kind of comes along. The concern for me is how patient is the fan base going to be and the ownership, because I think the Giants schedule is rated the hardest in the NFL, which I don't know how the hell that happened.
I know. With 3 wins last year.
Yeah.
It's because their division is really strong.
Yeah.
And then they have to play the AFC West.
They're playing the AFC West, but then they're also playing the NFC Central. So they're playing the Bears in week 10, the Packers in week 11, the Lions in week 12, the Vikings in week 16. When you look at this schedule, knowing nothing because the season is just starting, there are not a lot of games that you look at the schedule and you're thinking, oh, that's a win. Because the Cowboys, like you said, looked better than anyone expected against the Eagles. And so they're at home next week against the Giants in a must-win situation. Then they've got the Chiefs, the Chargers. They're at the Saints, who obviously a new coach there with Kellen Moore. Spencer Rattler is their quarterback. So I'm like, well, that's a winnable game, but it's on the road. Then they've got the Eagles, at the Broncos, at the Eagles, 49ers. It's a brutal schedule where there may be 3 or 4 wins out there unless they steal one with their defense. But you're hoping that everyone is looking at the potential of this team, and it's like, hey, it's not about this season, and it's a hot seat. So when is the right time to say, okay, the defense is playing great. We feel confident enough in the offensive line's ability to protect the Jackson Dart, to gently expose him to playing quarterback in the NFL. But to me, this season seems more about, let's see what we've got here and what we've got to build on. The excitement is coming in future years, because that division is going to be brutal, and this schedule is just a nightmare.
Yeah, keep an eye on the first 2 games, because they can beat the Commanders and they can beat the Cowboys. Right?
Yeah,
I think they're going to beat the Cowboys. Yeah, I don't know about the Commanders, but they could.
They lost the Commanders by they didn't have kicker last year, or they would have won one of the games, and the other game was, I think, 3 or 5 points. So
no, I think they could. They
could
too.
Yeah,
I think I think they're going to beat the Bears and the Packers. Like when you
the Packers,
the Lions are tough. Lions are tough, but
Packers.
What, the Packers? I don't think the Packers are that good.
People have them going to the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I can't see this.
It comes down to Jordan Love, really.
Yes.
It is, and I'm not a big. Who's their receivers? All guys that are hurt all the time.
Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. If your quarterback's your strength and your receivers stink, that never seems to be a good recipe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mike, what's your feelings of this year right now so far?
Well,
I know you're a Carolina Panthers fan, right?
Huge Carolina Panthers fan. Big year for Bryce Young. No. So with the Giants, I'm bullish. Now, do you want my secret pick for the Super Bowl? Because I've got a team I'm excited about.
Really?
I do. And I think I get lured in by these Netflix documentaries. Like when I watch them and I watch these players, I get totally sucked in. And so by watching quarterback, I'm a massive Joe Burrow fan now. And I'm all in on the Bengals, baby.
No defense.
No defense at all.
You know what, man? The NFL is so focused on scoring, and you've got teams like the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, that I'm pushing my chips in on the Bengals. That Joe Burrow is going to be NFL MVP this season. They paid Hutchinson his money. I think somehow they patch it together defensively and they just outscore people. Jamar Chase is happy, got his money. T. Higgins, he's never happy, but he'll play well. Joe Burrow is Joe Cool. I'm going with the Bengals this year because last year I think I was bullish on the Ravens. I think the Bills, that window is constantly closing. The Chiefs didn't look great, but it's week one. I'm going to take a gamble and I'm going with the Bengals to be my dark horse Super Bowl pick this year.
Interesting.
Played well late in the season last year after
I
some.
love Burrow. I love
He's
watching
so
Burrow.
great to watch.
Yeah. I have him on one of my fantasy teams as my quarterback, but
He's a transfer portal success story.
Yes.
Because he would have never made the NFL if he didn't transfer.
No.
Because he would have never played.
Nope.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ohio kid. I mean, and wow, Heisman Trophy winner at LSU and just a terrific player and just a total gamer. Like I said, when I watch these Netflix documentaries, I zero in on guys. It reiterated what I've always loved about Dan Campbell because Jared Goff was featured in this as well. But yeah, the AFC, these teams just pummel each other so much and they kind of go through who's it going to be, and it always seems to be the Chiefs. So I was thinking, the Bengals seem to be able to always give the Chiefs a game. I mean, that division is going to be rough as well. But today I think the Bengals open with the Browns. So last year they got off to a terrible start. So I'm looking for a better start from the Bengals and riding Joe Cool until, a season-ending injury.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll wait for 2 games and then we'll come back and see how the season's erupted, and then we'll talk because right now we could make all the it's again, I'm in 5 fantasy leagues. I made some assumptions, but it's like I hate picking my fantasy league, especially one league was like 2 weeks ago I picked. Like that's just terrible. You don't know what's going to happen. You know what the rosters are going to be. Some people are still hurt. People get hurt. So here's the thing, but here we'll go to the Jets, and it's just always sad. So here we go. The Jets, they're like, okay, we're gonna focus on the rush. We're gonna, this is the way we got 3 good running backs, a rushing quarterback. And guess what happens? Vera Tucker gets hurt, and he's out for the year. And so here are your best rushing offensive lineman. It is not going to be around this year. So here we go. Our strength is now not our strength anymore. We're going to throw our backup center in that position, and we'll see what happens. So it just goes to show, being a Jet fan, it always happens this way. I'm just not. I know the defense is going to be good. I really do. I think they have a really good special teams too. I really feel, they got Nick Folk back, but Nick Folk is still good. But they also have great kick return. They have that part of the game, they'll be fine. I think Aaron Glenn knows what he's doing. He's going to make sure that defense is good. Last year, our defense collapsed. That was supposedly our strength, and they were terrible.
Yeah,
and because
overrated.
Yeah, way overrated. Just it was not like Salah knew what he was doing. When Salah left, I don't know what happened. I think the team was structured based on his philosophy, and then when he left, the other guy, Ehrlich, he just kind of made some changes to try to make it himself, and it backfired, and they became a mess. Supposedly good players were not playing well. So I have a feeling this year they're going to be better on defense. I feel that's not going to be difficult. The offense, I don't know, because they only have one good wide receiver. They have a rookie tight end. I saw Conklin play the other day for who was he play for? The other night he was playing for one of the teams. He was playing great. I was like, why did they not keep that guy? That he was a good tight end. Why? There was no reason not to keep him. They have a rookie tight end. He might be good, but he's not going to be good right off the bat. I just don't know what kind of passing game they're going to have. So I have a lot of problems. I'm going to watch. Of course, I'm going to watch because I love to sacrifice my Sundays watching inept football. But I've been doing that for so many years. It's probably, I'm so used to it.
But you're rooting for the coach this year, Brian, right?
Yes.
Like you want to make sure the coach does
him.
a good job, that he disciplines the players, penalties go down, defense plays well, and you're going to have a rough road. there's wins in your division with the Patriots and the Dolphins, right?
Yes.
But you're really rooting for the coach just to show improvement in the
Mhm.
overall team. How the
I just want to
game
be
plans
competitive.
run.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to be competitive. Like the worst thing for me, and again, the Giants kind of have gone through this at times, is to okay, so we're all hyped up. Football is part of our life. We like to have our Sunday afternoons watching the games, especially when it's cold out. It's like the best. You sit down, you get a sandwich, watch the game, and and then by the end of the second quarter, they're already getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
And like
You're
so,
on
then
to
you're like,
red
okay,
zone.
yeah, yeah.
Just turn on the red zone and be done with it.
Yeah, I know, and that's the problem. So I want them to be competitive. If they're competitive, I will be happy. At least I have some football to watch. I don't want to have just a season where we get blown out. It's been that way for I don't know 6 years in a row. I don't even know.
We haven't made the playoffs.
Herman
In what?
Edwards was the
We
last
haven't
time
made
we were
the playoffs in
competitive. No,
14 or 15 years.
I mean it's amazing how brutal my Sunday afternoons have been watching. And sometimes I feel is that my penalty for the Warriors being so good for that, like that my other teams stink. But I just I'm not pumped up for the season yet. I want to watch. I'm going to be glued to the TV today to watch it. I was going to go to a bar, but now I'm not going to go. I'm going to stay home and watch it. But it's
You've had a pretty good run, though, Brian.
yeah,
Warriors,
Mhm.
the Yankees made the World
yeah. I
Series
know, I
last
know.
year. And the Rangers were good for, they were a playoff team, get to the finals.
I know, but I
Montreal
just
Alouettes had a good year last
yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah. My AVP team has done really well this year.
Brian, you should have a second team then.
I know you always say this. It's just
Yes, you
hard
should.
for me. I know. I root for the Lions a lot. I like to see the Lions win.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody likes the
I
Lions.
like. Yeah, like you say, the Bengal. I like Joe Burrow a lot. There are teams. I watch other teams. I'd love to see the Lions win a Super Bowl.
Yes,
I think
great.
they deserve to win one. I still don't think they're going to this year, but we'll talk about that. When we have
Mhm.
our more of our predictions. But as far as the Jets go, let's see what happens. There's a big question at quarterback for me. There's a question of depth. Wide receivers, we have one guy. That's not how you want to do it. You want to have two. You want to take the pressure off the number one guy. We just
I,
don't have that person.
I think it's going to be interesting how Sauce does this year because they're moving him around, right?
Yeah,
He's going to follow the best receiver, and he's going to prove it this year, right? Like he's got to prove that he's the
yeah. He
man
went
on
downhill
defense.
last year. He
He
went
did.
downhill last year. Yeah, he did.
He did.
From
So
two like wonderful years. And again, it could be because of the type of defense that they were
right,
running. I think
right.
now that Aaron Glenn's here, I think he's going to focus because that's where he did. So he'll focus on that. I have a feeling that we're going to see the Jets defense as a whole. Even the linebackers, I think, are better this year. They made some great moves at the end of free agency to pick up some guys for the front line. So I think their defense, and he doesn't play games. Aaron Glenn, if you're not performing, you're gone. Right?
Yeah.
He got rid of people right off the bat. That like they picked up a guy from Kansas City and he wasn't doing well. They sent him back to Kansas City.
And
Like that was kind of interesting. That
you
was
feel like
interesting.
he's running it too, like not the
Yeah.
GM, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Moji is just
So
kind of like Aaron Glenn's
I'm
man.
worried. And again, and I have to say, the special teams has been a disaster for many years. This is the first year in a long time that I feel pretty confident that they're going to know what they're doing because he's been focusing on that. And so I feel that two of the three areas they seem to be okay and they'll be competitive. It's just the offense. It's such a we don't know. Can they run the ball and be productive? If they can, that could happen. That could actually keep them in games. But I don't know now that Vera Tucker got hurt. I just don't know. I
You
don't
know,
know.
if the Jets can find a way to win that opener against the Steelers, which I think the players are going to have so much motivation going up against Aaron Rodgers, it
Yeah.
really sets them up for, the possibility of some excitement, right? Look, week 2 is Buffalo. That's Buffalo. That's a tough game. Let's just assume they don't win that game. But it's like, at Tampa Bay, at Miami after that, could win those games, right?
Oh yeah, I do. I expect them to win those games. But they
Yeah,
have
so
another stretch. They have another stretch after. There's a stretch near the end that's pretty bad too.
you get the
Tampa Bay is good.
Panthers, right? So
Tampa Bay is
there's
good.
Tampa Bay is very good.
yeah,
Tampa
but
Bay is very good.
Don't look past Tampa Bay. They're going
oh
to be
no,
good.
not at all. But if you win that first game, then the players are feeling better about themselves. And if you're competitive against Buffalo but don't win the game, it's like, hey, if you're 1-1 going into Tampa Bay, there's some enthusiasm knowing
Yeah.
that it is a very good team. But
Yep.
if you lose the Pittsburgh game, the Aaron Rodgers game, it's at home as well.
Oh.
What happens to the team's spirit as they
I mean,
go
the
on?
NFL's perfect for scheduling that game.
Oh,
Aaron
man,
Rodgers
aren't
back
they?
at the- it's
So
perfect.
intentional, right?
Right.
The NFL is so intentional with the way they structure.
I just hope they
That's
hammer him. This is what would be good. So first quarter, they just go in. I don't know who. Will McDonald goes around the end, slams him to the ground. He gets hurt. He's out for the season. Like
Well,
that would be just. I would love it because I have a bunch of friends that are Steeler fans, and they actually I know one or two listen to this. But I'm sorry, guys. I hope that Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in the first two games.
But
He's out
Brian,
for the season.
given Jets history, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 5
I
touchdowns.
know he's has 500 yards. He's
Yeah,
gonna break a
500 yards.
opening game record of like that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Oh, I know. That's what's going to happen. You see. It's going to happen. We'll see. Pete Firemuth is going to have 4 touchdowns or something like that. Something like crazy like that you never expect. Oh yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, guys.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to watch by after halftime when the
Watch the
Jets are getting
Giants
blown
game.
out. Yeah, well, luckily, right now there is. I have found, and I don't know if I told you guys that there's a Nash Bridges channel on live TV, 24 hours Nash Bridges. So that's great. I can just flip that on and watch that during the game. So
Bridges.
one of my favorite shows of all time, man. Top 5 favorite shows of all time. So he has his own channel. I don't know how they did that, but there's also a Walker Texas Ranger channel, which that's another great one. So you can either one of those two will work. There's a Mystery Science Theater channel too, Mike. I know you would like that.
That one I gotta find. I love that.
It's
Alex
on
likes
live
that, too.
TV. If you have Roku, it's on live TV. I'm doing
I
a.
don't have Roku.
But I think you can get it from other things. You don't just need Roku.
Yeah, I'm sure
Live
it's
TV. It's like an app. You put it on your TV.
on-
It's great. 24-hour Nash Bridges. How could you beat that? Okay.
very easily.
Wonderful episode.
Pulling my eyelashes out.
Wonderful episode, though, guys. So again, we'll watch TV. We'll see how football goes. Baseball is heating up. The Yankees are kind of playing better. Mets are kind of playing better. They're neither of them are. They have give us a lot of false hope. We'll see what happens, but I think they're both going to make the playoffs. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, they'll definitely both make the playoffs. I think it's going to come down to pitching for both the teams, as it always does in the playoffs. And Aaron Judge has to hit, and Francisco Lindor has to perform. And Juan Soto will be there for the Mets. Mets are my pick to win the World Series.
Real nice.
Their pitching has been atrocious. But they brought up Nolan McLean and Sprout and Tong, and they're basically going with these three young guys to see if they can patchwork the pitching together to get them through. So that's what it's going to come down to in my book. And the Yankees pitching has actually looked pretty good. Schlitter's been great, except for his last outing.
But again, I don't blame that on him though. Too, I think there was a lot of bad plays.
Yeah.
I don't know. He still pitched pretty good.
He did. Rodon has had a great year.
Yes.
I mean, I think he leads the AL in wins. So he's done really well. So I like their chances to keep it short.
And yeah, no, I do. And I think I agree with you on this. You know what's interesting? Did you see Diaz the other night? Bases loaded, nobody out, and he struck out the side, or he got the side. He got him out 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I was shocked. That really shows that he's a good reliever. Again, he has his periods. He's up and down. I know a lot of Met fans don't like him because he does have that, but man, that takes a lot of gumption. There's not many relievers that could have pulled that off.
Well, he got lucky because this Cruz made a great play at second base.
Yeah.
To end the game. I mean, he made like a diving stop. If not, that he would have lost that game. But Diaz he's a performer. I've always seen it though. Like if you actually look at his Met career, like he had a great first year. Was it first year? No, or it was a bad first year. I forget. He hasn't had that many like superb seasons because he got hurt that one season, and then. But he is the bullpen for them.
When he's on, he's on.
Well,
like that's why I'm saying in a playoff series, if he's in playing well, he's going to make a difference. If he doesn't, they don't have the other relievers to pick up the slack there.
Yeah, and they picked a bunch up. So did the Yankees. They both, both GMs did a horrible job picking.
Stinky, yeah. Well, sometimes when you get guys from teams that are not in the playoffs much, and you throw the guy. Bednar's been good. I have to say,
he's been very.
I like him, but they're overpitching him now. I'm worried about that now.
Well, Fernando Cruz will be the key to the Yankees bullpen.
I like Fernando Cruz.
He's a beast. Yeah, he can come in any situation and strike guys out. So
we'll see what happens. Yeah. But okay, so a lot of stuff. And Mike, really quick, Mike, from you before we go, who's your predictions for U.S. Open?
Oh, you know what? I picked Carlos Alcaraz as my icon when we did those predictions for icons. So I'm going to go with him over Jannik Sinner at the U.S. Open final today. Alcaraz has been completely dominant and has not dropped the set. Sinner looked a little bit vulnerable the other night in the semifinal against Ajay Aliassime. Dropped the set. He's still wearing this elbow sleeve, and he actually had to retire in the Cincinnati Open final, which was a tune-up for the U.S. Open. Alcaraz had jumped him in the first set. Sinner pulled out. So this is, I think, the third time they're meeting in a slam final this year. I'm going to go with Alcaraz in another classic. I think he's going to win in 5 sets. I think it's going to be a great match. But that's my guy, Carlos. I'm riding him into the future.
Shaved his head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shaved his head. His brother messed up his
head. I'm rooting for him too. I wanted an American to win, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, disappointing performance by the American.
Very disappointing. Yeah. Very disappointing. And again, this is one of the few tournaments I actually do watch.
Yeah.
And Wimbledon and this is only 2 I really watch, and I was very disappointed with. But I have to say that one bright spot is Venus had a little shining moment, right? And I think that was good for her and because you notice how she went from being a villain to people love her now. It's amazing how things change over time.
Yeah, she had some health issues that I guess she's resolved now. She looks a little bit healthier to me. She was always a very thin player, and she looks like she's a little bit fitter now. When I say fitter, I mean like a little bit like healthier, has a little more. Looks a little stronger to me. And so she's 45 and hasn't played much lately, but she had a really nice run. I think she got to the quarterfinals of the doubles, where she lost to Taylor Townsend and her partner, who are the number 1 team in the world. But I watched some of Venus's first round match that she lost to Muhova, I believe, who made it all the way to the semifinals. And she played well. I mean, she lost in 3 sets, on that big stage, and the crowd was excited to see her. So I thought it was nice. And she said she may continue playing, which I think would be pretty cool to see that veteran player that I'm sure has inspired a lot of the current players on tour. So I thought it was a nice return for her, and I thought she represented herself really well out there.
But tennis has that beautiful arc, right? When you first start, everybody loves you, and then when you become the dominant player, everybody hates you, and then when you begin to not be the dominant player and you aren't very good and you're near retirement, everybody loves you again. Like it's just the way it goes.
They kind of remember what you were and appreciate it more. Except for Roger Federer. Everyone loved him from beginning to end. So
not me.
Oh, no?
Yeah, except for Alex didn't like him.
No, I was a Nadal guy, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they steal
Clay. I like Clay.
Then they steal their hats, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent episode, guys. Have a wonderful enjoy opening day of football, and enjoy the last week or so of baseball, a couple weeks of baseball, and we'll talk soon.
All righty.
See ya.
This is Tom Carvel. Thank you for listening to 3 the Hard Way Sports Podcast. Remember to get a Fudgy the Whale or Cookie Puss for the next time you're sitting down to watch the big game.